That means we start from Lamed Test 39, Amid Beis on the bottom. Amar Ravashi, L'didi Amar Li Ameimar. Ameimar told me, Ahu Bar Tavia, this deer, Lav Itsude Itsid. Yesterday we said that a non-Jew had hunted a deer on the first day of Yom Tif, and there was a machlokas whether between Amoraim, whether on the second day of Yom Tif they could eat it or not. Two of them ate it, one of them did not eat it. So he says that this was not hunted. Ela michutz l'tchumasa. This was brought on the same day from beyond the tchum. It was hunted before. And what's the machlokas? Manda achal savar haba b'shvil Yisrael zemut Yisrael acher. So if a Gentile brings something from beyond the tchum for a specific Jew, that specific Jew cannot use it, but another Jew could. And that's why Rav Nachman and the other ones who ate, this was brought for the Reish Galusa, wasn't brought for them, so they're allowed to eat na'aloch. Rav Sheshes, who did not eat, held that since a Gentile brought it for the house of the Reish Galusa, he basically brought it for all the Chachamim, and therefore it included him. Afraid the Gemara of Rav Sheshes Rabbi Bar Shmuel Varmalei. Rav Sheshes ran into Rabbi Bar Shmuel, who told him this. No, it did not happen that way. And he was not told about that story. Who lifted the asil mechuzah? There was a turnip that was also delivered to mechuzah. Nafak Rabbi Chazid Dechmisha. Rabbi saw that it was like wrinkled, it was like used up. So he understood it probably wasn't picked today. We're talking about it was Yom Tov. If it was picked today, you can't use it, even if a Gentile did it for a specific Jew. However, Shara Rava Lemizbimine, Rava permitted them to buy it. They would buy it through credit. They didn't have to pay that day, but there's a way to do it in a halachic valid way. Omar Hayvade mi itbol nekara. This was picked yesterday because of the way it looks. Now, my amrit b'chutz l'tchum, and did it come from beyond the tchum? Doesn't make a difference because haba b'shvil Yisrael zeh muter l'chol Yisrael acher. And even if it was brought by a Gentile from beyond the tchum, if it's brought for this Jew, it can be eaten by another Jew. The kosher can hide that I did an achrim asa. Here, this turnip wasn't even brought for Jews. It was brought into the city to be sold to Gentiles. But kiven the chazdu komavshiu ma'isiluhu. But now he saw that there were a lot of Gentiles bringing in this stuff to sell to Jews. So then asyalu, then he prohibited it. Hanu b'nei Gnana, there were these gardeners. The gazlu asabi Yom Tov sheni. The Gentile gardeners cut some hadassim on the second day of Yom Tov. Le'urta, that motzei Yom Tov, sharu lavina le'urche bei la'alter. When they made a birchas hareach that night, he permitted them to smell it right away. Normally, if somebody cut the hadassim that day, you could not use it until bichdei sheyasu. Let's say it takes an hour to cut it and to transport it. You'd have to wait at least an hour after Shabbos before you could use it. But Ravina allowed them to use it right away. How could that be? L'chora, he held perhaps at Yom Tov Sheni, maybe you don't have to be goyzer so much because it's the weaker Yom Tov. You should aser because b'nei Torah. They are already weak in their Torah, and if you're lenient, they're going to be mezalzel Yom Tov Sheni. Masking Rav Shmaya, Taima de Einam b'nei Torah. So what? The reason you permitted because they're not b'nei Torah shari? You still need to wait We don't accept this concept that by Yom Tov Sheni it's more lenient and you don't have to wait b'chtei shiyasu. In fact, Azu Shalil Rav Amalu Bayinu b'chtei shiyasu. Yes, you have to wait b'chtei shiyasu. In fact, Allah is if a Gentile brought something from Chutz Tchum on Yom Tov, you can't use it until a period of time it takes for them, to schlep it and everything. You have to wait an hour or two before you can use it. And somebody, if it's brought for a specific Jew, you would not be, that specific Jew could not use it. Only another Jew could use it. Then the Mishnah talked about Rav Doisa, that he said you have to emphasize Rosh Chodesh, you have to make a tnai, that if Rosh Chodesh is today, they talked about, should you mention Rosh Chodesh when you mention Rosh Hashanah? Because Rosh Hashanah is also Rosh Chodesh. Amar Rabba, Ki Avina Bei Ravuna, when we were studying by Ravuna, he boiled law, and he asked us, Ma lahaskil shel Rosh Chodesh Rosh Hashanah? Do we mention in Tefillah Rosh Chodesh when we also, do we say Yom HaZikaron and Rosh Chodeshim? Or do you just mention Yom HaZikaron? Kiva de Chalukin b'Musaf in Amrinon. You know what? On Rosh Hashanah, you actually bring the Korban Musaf for Rosh Chodesh, which is a So'ir. Milvad Oilas HaChodesh. Then you bring Musaf of Rosh Hashanah. So maybe since you bring a separate Korban for Rosh Chodesh, it's going to be Chalukah, and you be Maskir Rosh Chodesh as well. O Dilma Zikaron Echad Oila Lakan Lakan. At Yom HaZikaron Hazeh, once we mention memory, Rosh Chodesh is also included. Omer Lon Tanisua. We learned it in our Mishnah. Doisa Omer, Ha'over Lifnei HaTeva. Right? He talked about the Chazan mentioning Rosh Chodesh. My Lav Lahaskir. Aren't we talking about that he was Mazkir with Rosh Hashanah? What says Lo Lahasnois? What Rav Dosa said was, remember they made a conditional statement. If today is Rosh Chodesh and tomorrow's not, fine. If tomorrow's Rosh Chodesh, today is also. So he made a condition. That's what Rav Dosa was arguing about. Not to be Mazkir. Every Rosh Chodesh, when they were mentioning Rosh Chodesh, he would make this tonight that maybe it's the 30th, maybe it's the 31. However, but the Chacham didn't agree with the tonight. But if the debate is about being maskir, my lo. Why wouldn't they admit to it? So Elamai, what are you going to tell me? It's not lahaskir, it's lahasnois. So lama li lifluga betarti. So why did I have to have machlokas both in the Baraisa and in the Mishnah? Tzricha. The actually Rosh Hashanah maybe you don't make it tonight by Rosh Hashanah because people will become to mizalzal. Rosh Chodesh Shekona Shal Kuna, where there is no Isra Malacha on Rosh Chodesh. So there, where there's no zilzul, maybe even one of the Rab Doisa that you do say that tonight statement. The Iyat Marbahav, we don't have the case about Rosh Chodesh. Maybe Bahak cover Rab Doisa that you say you make it tonight. Bahak, maybe Rosh Hashanah, even one of the Rabbanim that you don't make it tonight. So tzricha, we needed both the Bryce and the Mishnah. Okay. Meisvei. It's amazing that we're learning the Daf Yomi right before Rosh Hashanah. And it's Rosh Hashanah coming up, right? Rosh Hashanah Shechalios B'Shabbos, which is this year. It's amazing. Beis Shammai Omer Mispalel Eser. In Musaf, we only daven 9. We have 3 brachas, right? Avos, Mechayim Mesim, and Melech HaKadosh. Then you have the 3 at the end. You have Moedim and Atov and Simshalim. And then you have the three brachos of Malchios in the middle. Right? You have Malchios, Zichroinos, and Shoifos. So Beis Hillel says 9, but Beis Shammai says you say 10 because you mention another bracha special for Shabbos. Shabbos gets its own bracha. Beis Hillel Omer Mispalo Teisha. No, in Zichroinos, no, in Malchios, when we say Melech HaKol Haaretz Mekadesh Yisrael, Mekadesh HaShabbat V'Yisrael B'Yom HaZikaron. So Beis Hillel says you mention Shabbos along with the mentioning of Yom HaZikaron. According to Beis Shammai, one extra bracha was put there, says Mekadesh HaShabbos. We of course don't paskin that way. We paskin in Shulchan Aruch that we say 9 brachas, not like Beis Shammai. Now, back to our discussion. V'im Isa, if it's correct that we should Yimaskir Rosh Chodesh as well, the way we were saying on Rosh Hashanah, so Beis Shammai Achas Esrei M'Boilei. It seems like Beis Shammai made a different bracha for each Korban Musaf. So just like Shabbos got its own bracha because it's got its own Korban on Rosh Hashanah. When Shabbos, Rosh Hashanah, you bring Shnei Chvasim for Shabbos, just like you bring a Soyer for Rosh Chodesh. So since Rosh Chodesh gets a separate Korban, it also gets a separate bracha. So if it's correct that you're Maskir Rosh Chodesh on Rosh Hashanah, according to Beis Shammai, it should have been 11, not 10. That's the kasha. Amrav Zeira, Shiny Rosh Chodesh mitoch shekol l'shachos for Arvis. We mentioned Rosh Chodesh in Yalav Yavo, in Chakras and Arvis as well. So Kol Nami b'Musafim. So it's put into the general statement by Musaf as well, even by according to Beis Shammai. Umislahu leBeis Shammai koilel. Does Beis Shammai Bichlal hold that when Rosh Chodesh falls on Shabbos, you mix up the bracha of Shabbos with Rosh Chodesh, you'll make one bracha? Batanya. Rosh Chodesh Shechalios b'Shabbos. Beis Shammai Omer Mispalo Shmona. Gentlemen, a regular Shabbos, we have 7 brachas. We have the first 3, the last 3, and then we have the middle bracha, Mekadesh HaShabbos. According to Beis Shammai, you also add on Rosh Chodesh a separate bracha for Rosh Chodesh. You don't coil them together. So how can you tell me that Beis Shammai is mekoilel it? We see when Shabbos falls on Rosh Chodesh falls on Shabbos, he doesn't mix them together. Beis Hillel Omer Mispalo Sheva. Kasha. More now goes on to say the following. This whole issue of whether you join Shabbos and Rosh Chodesh together in a bracha, well, let's say when Rosh Chodesh falls on Shabbos, Koilel Atzmo Tanoia is in itself a machlokes Tanoia. The Tanya, we learn in Baraisa, Shabbos Shechalios Rosh Chodesh, Ol B'Chol Shel Moed, Arvis Shachris Umincha Mispalo Kedarko Sheva. We're talking about Shabbos. You say Mekadesh HaShabbos. You say the only 7 brachas. And Oimim Me'ena Marub Avoid. You say Yala V'Yavo in Avoido. Rabbi Ezra says no, Yala V'Yavo is made B'Hoido. And Be'im Lo Amar Machzir Noso. You don't say the Me'ena Maru, you have to read to it. So fine. Uve Musafin Maskil B'Shal Shabbos U'Mesayim B'Shal Shabbos. But you do it all in one bracha. You say V'titem lanu es Yom HaShabbos hazeh, and then Mesayim b'shal Shabbos Mekadesh HaShabbos. And you V'titem lanu es Yom HaShabbos hazeh. And then you put Yalav V'Yavo like we do in the middle of the davening there. but it's all said in only in its in the middle bracha, in the middle bracha. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Rabbi Shmuel ben Yoshua, Rabbi Yochanan Omer, Kol Mokum Shezakuk L'Sheva, Maskil B'Shel Shabbos, U'Mesayim B'Shel Shabbos, V'Oim Kedushas Hayom Be'emetza. He also mentioned the Rosh Chodesh, Im Shel Shabbos Kagon, Es Yom HaManoach Hazeh, Es Yom HaShachodesh Hazeh. Or if it's Chol HaMoed, he says Yom HaShabbos, if it's Yom Chag HaSukkos Hazeh. In the V'Siten Lanu. But in Masechta Beitzer, Rashi says, we are Kovei Halacha not like this. You end up, you say Mekadosh HaShabbos. Elav Avkir Sayom Nami, Mekadosh HaShabbos V'Yisrael V'Azmani. Rosh Chodesh Mekadosh HaShabbos V'Yisrael Rosh Chadoshim, which is how we pass it. So you see it's a machlokes Tanai. My Havi Allah, what's the halacha? We're asking what's the final halacha regarding on Rosh Hashanah? Do we mention Rosh Chodesh? Says Rav Chizah, no. One zikaron is ola for Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Chodesh. V'chein Amar Rabba zikaron echad oila lo l'kan l'kan. V'Amar Rabba ki avina be'Ravuna iboilon ma'u loimer zman Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim. Another Rosh Hashanah question. Do we say Shechianu on Rosh Hashanah, right? When we say Kiddush Rosh Hashanah, we say Kiddush Yom Kippur. Even the Mizman Lizman Nasi, these are Yomim Tovim that come once a year. They come Mizman Lizman. So Amrinan, Dilma Kivin Delo Yikru Regolim, we have Shalosh Regolim. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is not Regolim. Maybe Shechianu is tied to Regolim. So maybe we don't say it. Lo hava biyadei. He didn't have the answer. Ki asoy be Rav Yehuda Amar ana akra charata nami aminazman. If I eat pumpkin and I hadn't eaten pumpkin for a year, I also say Shechianu. So why shouldn't I say it here as well? Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Listen, we're not. If somebody wanted to say Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, he can say. Just like he wants to eat a pumpkin, he can say. We're asking, is it a choiva to say Shechianu? Kikom aboyle choiva mai. Omer lei Rav Shmuel Omer Tavayu. Ein Omer Zman Ela b'Shalosh Regolim. No, we don't say Shechianu Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. We only say it on the Shalosh Regolim. Meisvei, I'll ask you a question. There's a pasuk in Koheles, Tein Chelik L'Shiva, V'gam L'Shmona. Give a portion for 7 and 8. What's pshat? Yezer Oimer. Shiva, Elu Shiva Yemei Breishis. Shmona, Elu Shmona Yemei Mila. So it's a medrash that has to do with either the 7 days of the week or Mila. Rabbi Yoshua Omer, no. Shiva Elu is Shiva Yemei Pesach. Shmona Elu Shmona Yemei Achad. 8 days of Sukkot. Ukeshu Omer V'gam. What's the V'gam? L'Rabois Atzeres Rosh Hashanah V'Yom HaKippur. The V'gam includes Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. My lab Lizman. What are we including? Must be we're talking about the halach of Shechianu. When do you say Shechianu? So Rabbi Eliezer learns, you say it 7 days Pesach, 8 days Sukkot. You say it Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Atzeres. That's what the Gemara is bringing. Not like the Gemara answered in the name of Rav and Shmuel that we only say Zman on Shalosh Regolim. So Gemara says, Lo Livracha. It means in Musaf, on those days, they get its own bracha of Mekadosh Yisrael V'Azmanim. Or Mekadosh Yisrael V'Yom HaZikaron. Or Mekadosh Yisrael V'Yom HaKippurim. they get a bracha, but as I do with Shechianu. And the Gemara says, Ochanami Mistavra. It makes logical sense. If you're saying it refers to Shechianu, Zman Kol Shiva Mi'ikah. What do you mean? We don't say Shechianu all 7 days of Pesach. We say it the first night of Pesach, at Kiddush. What's Kol Shiva? So the Gemara says that's lo kasha. It's just to teach me, meaning, let's say somebody forgot to say Shechianu the first day of Pesach. You know what? He can say it all 7 days. Yeah, but you need a kos. You make a Shechianu on the kos. And the kos you only do the first night of Kiddush. And where is the person going to find a kos of yain? All Chol Moed, the rest of Pesach. So maybe this Manda Omar that said that you're allowed to say Shechianu all 7 days. Lema Messiah Rav Nachman. Dom Rav Nachman Zman Omer Afilu Bashuk. There is a major machlokas whether Shechianu can be said not on over a kos. Let's say you were in the marketplace and you forgot that you hadn't said Shechianu. You can say Shechianu. You don't need a kos. Or you could say Haloi Kasha Diglali Kos. Or he got a kos on the 5th day of Pesach or the 4th day of Pesach. Fine. That all works fine and dandy. Hatinich Atzeres Rosh Hashanah. Shavuos Rosh Hashanah, because you can eat on Shavuos and Rosh Hashanah. And you can say Shechianu on the kos. Right? However, what about Yom Kippurim? Hechi Ovid. Can't drink on Yom Kippurim. So how can you say Shechianu Yom Kippur if you're supposed to do it ala kos and you don't hold Rav Nachman? Then how can you say Shechianu? You can't say Shechianu and then drink. The moment you said Shechianu, you're makabel Yom Kippur, and then you can't drink anymore. Like, what do you see? Have you now that you were makabel, like early, let's say somebody would make Kiddush an hour before candle lighting, or he made Kiddush early, Erev Shabbos. So they asked him, "Did you separate from work?" In the Dilna, and the same thing by Yom Kippur. So once you made this Shechianu, you accepted Yom Kippur. You can't drink anymore. No. So livrachale, maybe you make it over a kos v'lanche, don't drink it. Hamavar tzar shiyitom. You can't do that because once you make a boy pragef, you got to taste it. Leisve liyanuka, give it to a child to drink. Less hilchosek ravacha. The halacha is not like ravacha that you're allowed to give a child to drink. The halacha is not. It's like you're not supposed to teach children bad habits. Dil masi lemisrach. He'll continue doing it when he grows up. So what happens on Yom Kippur? Mayav Yallah. Shadur Rabban Rav Yemer Sava Kamed Rav Chizd B'Mala Yom Adiresh Shasa. They sent him to Erev Rosh Hashanah to ask a question. Go look. They said, go see what Rav Yemer Saba does. Taught him, and then come and tell us what he did. Did he say Shechianu by Rosh Hashanah? Ki chaz yo'amer le deloy le retiva, Rav se le beduchte. he must have noticed that he came special, and he told them, just like you pick up a wet plate to make because to show that there's a reason why you're here. I see that you're here for a certain reason. You're not just coming here to visit me. You want to see exactly what a certain halacha is. Isolate kasa b'chama. They brought him a cup of wine. Kaddish, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah. The Omer Zman, and he said Shechianu. Hilchasa, Omer Zman Rosh Hashanah uvi Yom Kippurim. V'hilchasa Zman Omer afilu b'shuk. Now halacha is like Rav Nachman that you can say Shechianu even not on a kos. So gentlemen, that's why Kol Nidre night, after we recite Kol Nidre, the Chazan says Shechianu. We say Shechianu in shul. There's no kos. We don't make a boy pregefen there. It's based on this Rav Nachman that you can say Shechianu even bashuk. Omer Rav Ki Avina Be Ravuna Boilon. We asked another question. Barbe Rav the Yosef Tanisa B'Mali Shabta. Normally, you're not supposed to fast Friday, but people used to fast Friday. They wanted to increase their appetite for Friday night meal. Maybe a person does a tiny chalom. Ma'ala shlumi. Can you be mashlim into the night? Lava biyadi didn't have an answer. Asil kamed Rav Yudah v'lava biyadi. They went to Rav Yudah, he didn't have an answer. Amar Rav and Ischaze Anon. Let's see. The Tanya, Tisha B'Av Shechalios B'Shabbos. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll learn tomorrow. It's not a long block. It's actually short. So it will be finished. We can learn at 2:00. It shouldn't be a problem.
All right.